Hello there, this is live coding session number 3. And as always, the warning, please do not watch this video because it is for the sake of my own practice. I'm not going to edit it in any useful way, or I'm not planning to present information that will be useful for you here. So it's just a live coding. So you're warned, and now let me start. So let me start. First of all, I am gonna turn on. So I'm gonna set up a timer. It's a 30-minute timer, and it's on. Also, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna eat my apple. Finish eating my apple. Okay, so the last time we have stopped at me being very I was impressed by this gradient. It looks amazing, and I even tried to animate it going from this to this on click, but I failed. But this, for some reason, it looks so it's so satisfying. Okay, so I'm gonna actually I got to this place when I started playing with the gradient, with the conic gradient, because PHP Storm auto-completed it. It suggested this. Let's see how it's spelled. Youglish.com. Conic. Conic. All right.
Organic computing, in particular, emphasizes a special type of quantum programming called hybrid quantum classic.
Conic. Okay, so this conic gradient, it was PHP Storm that suggested conic gradient for as a value for the list style, and that's where I learned about it. But let's see what other values are available. So there are many values with this prefix Moz element. It's for Firefox browser, MS for Microsoft, probably O for Opera. I would think that, because I'm not sure about this. And -O, okay, and -WebKit is for Chromium based likes. Then we have Circle, Crossfade. What's Crossfade? Crossfade. What's this? CSS. Let's look at those values. Crossfade syntaxes. Oh, it's crossfade of images, white, black, and so on. No, we're not interested in this function. And here's an example. Crossfade, no. Decimal, let's see. So there will be probably 1, 2, 3 numbers. Yes, 1, 2, 3 with periods also. With a period. Okay, decimal. Oh, we can actually sneak peek into the values with the help of MD and WebDocs. So list style CSS. And here is square, inside. What's inside? Inside. we can actually see there is definition of that. There should be of values. Which values mean what? Behavior. So the list style property is specified as 1, 2, or 3 values in any order. If list style type and list style image are both set, the list style type is used as a fallback if the image is unavailable. So here is, for example, list style lower Roman, URL, and outside. Okay, so this is an example of using 3 values, which is okay. The values, blah, blah, blah. This property is a shorthand for the following CSS property. I didn't know that is a shorthand. So there are 3 CSS properties: list style image, list style position, and list style type. Position, I would probably assume that this is a position inside. Okay, and if we specify the list style inside, then it uses, it sets the list style position property for the URL list, but uses the default values for the other 2 properties. So image and type. Image probably is going to be none, and type is probably going to be something like circle. Well, let's see. What's the default value for, oh, space counter? What the hell? Space counter. Wow. If this works, then it is so fun. Okay, no. Why aren't you working? Inside. Let's... How? List style type. I think that to use this as a value, they say that space counter is defined with counter style. What's counter style? What are there any examples of? Wow, this is long. What's up? Counter style. Are there any examples on the page that are, yeah, no, maybe this, but we can cheat a little bit. So I can just inspect the list element and also go into the styles and see something like, where is it? Computed. Counter style. Counter style. Where are you? There is no counter style. Baseline. Newly available. Counter style. Thumbs. Wow. And okay, so if I then go back to this and use this one and use show source body up SCSS. So what are we having? What do we have here? Marker. What's space counter? List style. What do we have here? Nothing. Oh no, counter style. Here's the counter style. Okay, so probably we can paste these values and have our website display these? Yes, here you go. So here there is this wow, this list style functionality is very customizable. It is so customizable. Okay, so this is a shorthand property. There are 3 more: image, position, and type, and you can configure it. Well, there are many possibilities to configure it. So disk, here's the disk circle. Oh, so it's a hollow circle. And then an emoji. So if I use, for example, for the list style type, just like the actual emoji. So let's use fire. Let's use fire. So there is nothing there. So, and the default list style, and it's an ordered list. How do you? So probably if I set a value there that is not a proper value, the default value will be list style number, decimal. Okay, so now I need to use a string as a list style, as a value for the list style to be displayed as a list on the side of a list items. Okay, what's next? I didn't know that to list style type. And what are the options there? So what are the values? It's custom ident and an identifier matching the value of a counter style or one of the predefined styles. Symbols define an anonymous style of the list. What's this? How do we use this? Symbols, cyclic. Oh. And it doesn't work. You would expect it to work, but probably this feature is, they say that I don't know why it's not working. Because list style symbols cyclic, I would expect that to work actually. Honestly, if based on the functionality, but it's not working. So the way I would expect this to work is to then, based on the symbols, okay, we're providing a list of symbols that then the browser takes and assigns to each item and just rotates or indefinitely uses. So for the first list item, it would use an asterisk. For the second list item, this symbol. For the third list item, this symbol. And for the fourth one, it's gonna circle cyclic and then use this symbol. And for the fifth, this. And for the sixth, this one. And then again, it starts. So it's like, this is what I would expect from this value, from this function, but it's not working. So I'm gonna return back to this one. So string, the specified string will be used as the item's marker. And this is what we are using right now. And then none, this value, no item marker is shown. And this is a very, actually, this is a very common value for the list style type, because it's for some reason, and actually, let's ask ChatGPT 4.4 why the UL HTML element is so widely used for creating navigation bars compared to, for example, using nested divs. the UL HTML element is widely used for creating navigation bars primarily because it semantically represents a list of items. Here are a few reasons why UL is preferred over nested divs for this purpose. Semantic meaning denotes an unordered list, which is appropriate for a collection of similar items, such as navigation links. Using UL helps convey the meaning of the content, which is beneficial for search engine optimization, SEO, and accessibility. Screen readers, for instance, can announce the number of items in the list, aiding users who rely on assistive technologies. Styling consistency. It's often easier to style a list for a navigation structure using UL and LI because they provide a clear and predictable structure that can be consistently managed with CSS. Clear, predictable. Like, for example, adding spacing, borders, or alignment is straightforward. Oh, I get it. So, for example, clear and predictable structure. So, for example, when we have the question that I'm trying to answer here. So, what's the difference? What are the benefits of using this compared to this? And one of the great things for PHP Storm, as I told you, notice that when I'm changing the opening tag, so I'm changing from div to from li, from list item to div, it automatically changes the closing tag of this element. So, but my question here is that, or the question that I'm trying to answer, and this is what I asked ChatGPT, is what's the difference between using UL with LI and also just nested divs? So div, 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 div. And he answers that so first, semantic meaning. This is a list. This is not a list. This can be anything. So div doesn't have any semantic meaning, as far as I have learned. And so the second reason is styling consistency. So it's often easier to style a list for a navigation structure using UL, and because they provide a clear and predictable structure, which means that with lists, the valid HTML structure that you would expect is the parent item is the parent HTML element. A parent HTML element would be an unordered list, UL, and then the children, invalid HTML structure, will be always list items. So you cannot add something like paragraph here or a link and say hi, and then this, and then to a span element and say blah 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 also. So at this point, for example, PHP Storm even shows us that, highlights this paragraph and tells that element B is not allowed here, and also element A is not allowed here, and element span is not allowed here, but list items are allowed. So for navigations, you would have this predictable structure that everybody should adhere to. So UL as a parent and list item as a child, and also semantic meaning. So with divs, so if we have a div element that is a parent, and then we have a list of div children or child elements, and we are allowed to add paragraphs, links, spans, and even tables, forms, and so on. So yes, right now it tells me that unknown tables, unknown tag, and now and also forms. Okay, so I use plural, but still inside a div, you can have whatever you want, whether it's a block level element or an inline element, you can have whatever you want. And with navigations, you probably would want to have a list of and in navigation, with navigation, you what? And when having this flexibility, it's less, there are less constraints, and people, especially new to your HTML, and you to have to be or need to be more careful with it. So it's harder to determine based on the HTML. Like if we want to add something here, so I can easily add, not easily, but there is the chance of me making a mistake and adding an unwanted HTML tag, something like span or table or whatever, is higher than here, because here I know that only list items are expected. And so here we have more consistent, more clear and predictable structure. And that's the benefit. To be consistently managed with CSS. And actually, ChatGPT is good with this. So the reason is very, very solid. Ease of use with CSS frameworks. What's that? What is that? What is that? Ease of use with CSS. Many CSS frameworks like Bootstrap are designed with predefined styles for UL elements used in navigation bars, making it easier to implement responsive and visually appealing menus without extra coding. Yes, but my question is, why are they using UL elements instead of divs? And you, ChatGPT, you have successfully answered this question within these first 2 points. Maintainability and readability. Using UL unordered lists for navigation improves the readability of HTML code and makes it easier to maintain, especially for others who might work on the same code base. It is clear at a glance that the block of code is intended for navigation. It's clear to have to see the distinction that, okay, this is a parent element and those are list items, they are the children, so they will be probably the menu item or navigation bar items. But that's the main thing. Default browser styles. UL comes for unsorted list with default styles such as padding and list style, which are typically useful for navigation menus. No, this is a shitty reason, sorry, but most of the time you want to reset your default styles, because different browsers on average add like slightly different or have slightly different default styles. So, but the first 2 points, they make total sense. This one is even have more effect and even more powerful than the first one, but because, both of them are great. Okay, now I understand the difference, and let's get back to list style type. So there are many values there. Symbols, we've discussed none. Okay, disk, a filled circle, default value. So it's not, so I told that it's probably going to be a circle, but it's a disk. I was wrong in the value, about the value name. And the circle is a hollow circle. So it is, we've seen that. Okay, then we can have a square. I'm not going to its decimal, that we've seen CJK decimal, Han decimal numbers. I have no idea what's that, but let's use this list and list style type. Let's see what we'll have. Wow, what's Han decimal numbers? What's this? Oh, yes. Oh, it's Chinese numbers. I didn't know that. Traditionally simplified Ying. Oh, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, wow, 4. This is 5. Why are they? Why do they have? Why are they so fancy? But also they look a bit cool. So what about 100? It's a completely different number. So how do you write 11 with this system? But still, so it is a Chinese numeric notation. See, okay. Well, if at some point let's disable this. Let's remove the transition part and also background, like this active state. I don't like it. Okay, this is better. So I like this one though. This looks very cool. It's so like stylish. And for example, if I wanted to have, let's remove this. Let's remove display flex from them for a second, and let's see and I'm gonna add the margin left, something like 40 pixels, and let's see what we have here. There is this. Okay, so I would bet that list style position padding. There is padding position inside. And if I do this, they will go inside. But are they inside items, or they are just a part of, they become part of list items. Okay, I like this. Having this instead of setting margins. But using the Han digits for list items can be so cool, and we can achieve here having the 11. So 3, 6, 9, 12. Let's 12, 15, 18, 21. And so let's see. Wow, this is great. Wow. So it's like 1, 2, 3. Okay, all right. This is like they look cool to me. I really like them. It's hard for me as a Western European and like per man to determine that this is 4. So 1, 2, 3. Yes, countable. 4. Difficult. 5. Well, it kind of looks like 5. I can see that. 6. Why is it 6? Because of the 6. Like 7 is just if I rotate this number, it kind of can look like a. Can you rotate it? Like 7. To me, the 7 that I'm used to. So it's just a little weirder version of 7. 7, 8. Well, okay. 9. And then, so we've seen that the 0 here is, it looks like this. And also these digits, they don't have like these they don't have these marks. And they also are a little, wait a minute. So here they are vertically located. And now, so this is 11. No, this is 10. 10, 1, 0. Okay. 1, 1. Oh, 11. 12, 13. Great. So they're using the same approach that we do just with Latin, or how do you call this, decimals? but it's just that different. They're using different symbols. 13, blah blah blah. So it's 20, 21, 22, 20. Look, yes. So it is very cool, and maybe I will use this on my website. And what's the when was this value? When was the? Can we ask to ChatGPT like when the value for the list style type was added to CSS specification with counter stylist level 3 reached the candidate recommendation stage in 2014. Okay, so, and it's probably a widely used value. So let's use can I use for that. Let's see, decimal. It is a widely used value, widely supported. So 94.17% of the browsers, they do support CGK decimal. Great. Okay, and this is it for today's live coding. Nice, actually nice. It was nice to discover all that. And I will see you tomorrow.